Hello, friends. Welcome back. Dr. Ken Berry here, family physician. For the next hour or so, I'm going to be hanging out with you, answering your questions about a proper human diet, as well as the many ways you can do a human diet improperly. We can talk about medicine, medications, medical conditions, nutrition in all sorts, shapes, and fashions. I am here at your beck and call. I try to do this fairly regularly because I know some people are working at certain times and off at other times, different time zones around the world, etc. So I'm doing this one a little early today to try to help some people in other countries who have questions but can never catch us live on Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. So let's answer some questions. If you have a question for me, try to put the letter Q or the word question in all caps first. And I will try to get as many questions as I can. We got Paul in the UK. Where are you guys watching from right now? What city, what state, what country? There's Yazzie from the UK. Carol's in Austria. It's 22:30 there. Thought it was getting late. There's Antero from Finland. Excellent, excellent. Okay, good. This is from Rihanna. Sucrose, which is table sugar, which is half glucose and half fructose, versus sucralose, either okay in moderation. So it's fine to have some occasional sucrose. If you want to have a little small piece of dessert for your anniversary or birthday or Christmas, that's not going to have a huge impact on your overall health unless you're a sugar addict, in which case it can make you fall off the wagon for a few weeks or a few months. I caution everyone to strictly limit, if not eliminate, sucrose from your diet entirely. Any amount of sucrose is going to make your blood sugar spike, which is going to make your insulin level spike. It's going to lead to inappropriate fat storage on your body, and especially in your liver, which is much more dangerous. Also in your pancreas, which is very dangerous. And it's also going to increase your levels of chronic inappropriate inflammation in your body. Sucralose is less bad than just sugar. How much less bad is unclear. Some research shows that there are some possible problems with sucralose. Other research makes it look like sucralose is as good for you as drinking pure, clean mountain water. So what I have tried to do in my own personal diet, and what I recommend most people do, is as time goes by, limit all sweeteners. Definitely eliminate sugar, sucrose, high fructose corn syrup, fructose and fruit juices. Eliminate all that completely. There's no nutrition in it you need. And it's just going to cause metabolic problems. But then all other sweeteners, even stevia, erythritol, sucralose, aspartame, slowly wean them down. You don't need that much sweetness in your life. Okay? Human beings were not designed to have a sweet thing, a sweet drink multiple times a day. This is something that's only been going on since the 1600s for very wealthy people and the 1800s for the common man. And so that's just a blip of time, just a bat of an eye when you look at the entirety of human existence on this planet. So when you think about it that way, you want to try to replicate things we've been doing for a long damn time, like breathing air, drinking water, getting sleep, exercise, movement, eating lots of meat. Those things we've been doing for millions of years, and you should try to replicate those in your daily life. Getting out in the sun. The sun's not bad for you. It's good for you, okay? You need to replicate those things, but things that we've only been doing for the last 50 years, 100 years, even 200 or 300 years, you probably need to minimize those because they have not been in the human experiment long enough to be proven safe. So sucrose, before the 1600s, this was something that very, very, maybe less than 1% of the human population would have regular access to. Nobody had access to table sugar, either beet sugar, cane sugar. It was just a super, super rare thing. Sucralose has only been around for how many decades, right? So in my opinion, sucralose and none of the other sweeteners, except possibly the exception of stevia, because it's a plant you can grow in your garden and people have been eating it for thousands of years. But all the other basically factory made sweeteners, they have not been part of the human experiment long enough to have been proven safe. Good question. All right, let's see what's going on here. We got folks from Spain, from Texas, New Jersey, Colorado, Brentwood, Tennessee. Hey, neighbor, how's it going? All right, this is from Lauren. Now, if you want to make sure that I see your question, you can include it in a super chat like Lauren did. I'm not sure. I think it's 99 cents and up you can attach to it. Lauren says, my hubby's 99% carnivore, but drinks 1.5 quarts to 2 quarts of tart cherry juice per day for gout. Showed him your vid. He's not convinced to stop. So, Lauren, I understand because your husband has gout, and anybody who's ever had a gout attack, it is no joke. It is no bueno. Even women who have had natural childbirth will tell you that a gout attack hurts just as bad as having a baby. And anytime a woman admits that, that means it hurts really bad. Okay? You agree with that, Nisha? If a woman will say something is as bad as natural childbirth, it's pretty damn bad.
Yeah, I have not ever experienced anything as bad as natural childbirth.
Right.
Except for the injury that I suffered during.
Right, exactly. And so please, Lauren, tell your husband there are tart cherry juice extracts. You can get the extract in a capsule because he's ingesting tons of sugar with this cherry juice. And even though it's tart, I know it's tart, it's still full of sugar. Depending on which brand he buys, it may have more sugar in it. It may have more fructose in it than a Coca-Cola, ounce per ounce. So if he really believes in tart cherry juice, get the extract in the form of a capsule. So he's just getting the extract and not all that extra unnecessary sugar. Also, maybe he might want to watch my YouTube video about gout and what actually causes it, because him drinking this much cherry juice, which is fruit juice, that's actually increasing his risk of having a gout flare up. So maybe have him watch that video. Judy, question, is eating a whole egg better than eating just the yolk? It depends. So a yolk has about a 1-to-1 protein to fat ratio. It's not just pure fat. A whole egg has about a 3-to-1 protein to fat ratio. And so if you're trying to increase your percentage of protein in your diet, eat the whole egg. If you're trying to increase your fat percentage in your diet, then you might throw out at least some of the whites and eat just the yolks. I typically, if I'm going to eat 8 eggs, I'll discard 3 or 4 of the whites. And I try to feed them to the dog. They won't eat them. I've tried to feed them to the cats. They won't eat them. So I save them up now and I just put them on our garden. Maybe the tomatoes will eat them. I don't know. But that's and so also all the vitamins and minerals of an egg are in the yolk. Also, all the fat is in the yolk. The white is almost completely protein, just protein. That's all it is. And very few people find the proteins in egg whites inflammatory in nature. It's rare, but it happens. But virtually everyone, even people who have been told they're allergic to eggs or sensitive to eggs, they can still eat the yolk of the egg, especially a pastured egg. And don't forget about duck eggs, quail eggs, goose eggs. You can eat those as well. They're delicious and full of nutrition. Ounce for ounce, quail eggs are actually more nutritious than grocery bought chicken eggs. Thank you, Tyr, very much. Okay, Ragnar Odinson. I love it. I love it. Carnivore for 3 months, down 50 pounds. So this is a person, guys, if you're new to this and you're like, I don't know, this guy's been on carnivore for 3 months. And one of the main tenets of a proper human diet, of which carnivore is on the spectrum, is you get to eat till you're full. You don't have to portion control. You don't have to walk away from the table hungry. You get to eat till you're full. And doing that, he still lost 50 pounds in 3 months, down from 340. And that's with a decent amount of F-ups. You know what an F-up is, right? Any opinions on cold showers, ice bath, cryotherapy? Yes. Now, this is very popular. Let's talk about cold therapy, cryotherapy, and let's talk about infrared saunas and all that stuff. There is definitely a hormetic effect to jumping in ice cold water or getting in a 120-degree sauna. Definitely hormetic effects. They're probably good for you. But are they good enough for you that you should pay $100 a month to have access to that, or spend 10 grand to have a sauna in your house? Probably not. Okay. The most important thing you can do for your overall health and to improve your health is just what Ragnar's done, is adopt a proper human diet. That's the most bang for your buck. That's the biggest return on your investment, not only your financial money investment, but your time investment, your motivation investment, your willpower investment is to start eating a proper human diet every single day. So cold therapy, cryotherapy, sauna might make your health 1 or 2% better. So I'm not opposed to them, but I am opposed to you spending a bunch of money to get a 1% return. I'd much rather you do like Ragnar and spend your money on the best quality meat you can afford. Here in Tennessee, if I want to have sauna therapy, it's July here in the southern United States. I just go out and sit in my black pickup truck with the windows up for about 10 minutes. That's about 130 degrees. You feel like you're going to die. Or also the other thing you can do if you're in a region where the temperature gets up pretty high during the day, is go up in your attic during the day and sit for 5 or 10 minutes. I guarantee you're going to get every single benefit of a sauna for free. Now, back to cold showers and cold therapy. Is there some benefit to paying $100 a month to have access to cryotherapy versus just standing in a cold shower at home for 5 minutes? I don't think the research is clear at all. I think both are going to give you at least some degree of a hormetic response. But standing in a cold shower at home is not nearly as sexy as taking a video of yourself jumping in the 40 below zero cryo unit at your gym and posting that on your social media. It's much sexier to jump in the cryo unit, or to jump in a lake full of icebergs or something. But you can just stand in a cold shower. So go jump in your car out that's sitting out in the sun with the windows up for 5 or 10 minutes, and then go stand in a cold shower. I promise you, there's no research that shows that you're going to get a better hormetic effect from spending a ton of money. Does that make sense? All right. Julie's got a question. I've been beef butter, bacon, and eggs for over a month. My blood sugars are very high, over 200. My A1C is 12. Now, you're saying that you just got your labs checked after a month of triple B and E, Julie? If so, then you absolutely need to insist that your doctor check a fasting insulin, because you've probably been misdiagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. You're probably actually a type 1 diabetic, if that's the case. Now, if your A1C was 12 and then you now have started beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, then you need to do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 90 days. Then go get another A1C checked along with a fasting insulin. So you make your decision based on those two scenarios I just described. But if you've been beef, butter, bacon, and eggs and your A1C is still 12, either you're a type 1 or your A1C started at 17. Thank you for the question. Patty's got a salt question. And if you're just joining, I'm Dr. Ken Berry, family physician. I do lives like this very often. I've got over 800 videos on this YouTube channel about every conceivable nutrition and medical topic. So if you've got a question about, I wonder what he says about hypertension or fatty liver or sleep apnea, I've got a video about that. Just go to YouTube and type in Dr. Berry, and then whatever medical topic you're looking for, acne, PCOS. I've got videos on virtually everything that millions of people suffer from. Or you can look at a specific type of diet, low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore. Or you can look at different medications. Which medications cause edema? Which medications cause your blood sugar to go up, not down? I've got a video about that. So Patty says, been carnivore for 8 months. Is salt hard on people with kidney disease? Now, if you ask 100 random doctors, 95 of them are going to say, oh, yes, you need to avoid salt. But here's the thing. If your next question to those 95 doctors is, well, could you print me out the research that proves that? You're going to hear crickets chirping. And that's a Southernism. That means that they don't have a reply. They got nothing left, nothing to say. So the crickets start chirping because it's so quiet. There is no research that shows that anybody that eating salt to taste is bad for human kidneys. There is no research that I've ever seen, and I've looked. I can't find any research that proves that. Good question. Nurse Chick 78 says, I'm allergic to beef. Can I still do carnivore? Will it help with my dysautonomia? Yeah, absolutely. Eating a carnivore diet will help lessen the severity and lessen the symptoms of your dysautonomia. Absolutely. Now, my question to you is, why do you think you're allergic to beef? If you've been bitten by a Lone Star tick and you have alpha-gal, okay, that's temporary. That's going to last 3 to 12 months, and you can slowly reintroduce the beef. But if you did a food sensitivity test that said that you shouldn't eat beef, that's bullshit. Okay, food sensitivity tests are a waste of money. They don't give you any useful information whatsoever. They basically only tell you what foods you've eaten recently. Every time you eat a food, you have a slight immune response. Your body's constantly monitoring what you swallow. And so what you've eaten recently has caused an immune response. And if you get a food sensitivity test done, it'll say, oh, look here, you're sensitive to that. That doesn't mean that at all. Now, allergy testing, skin prick allergy testing is different. That can actually tell you that you do truly have a sensitivity or an allergy. But food sensitivity testing with blood work is a waste of money. And it's told so many people that they're sensitive to beef or eggs or this or that. And it's complete bunk. None of it's true. So if that's why you think you're allergic to beef, then that's crap. You're not. If you actually had an anaphylactic reaction after eating a meal that contained beef, I would strongly opine, Nurse Chick, that it was something else in that meal. It wasn't the beef. It's virtually unheard of for a human being to be actually allergic to beef. It's almost always something else that was included in the meal or something that was added to the beef, not the beef itself. Good question. Thank you, Storm Crow. Marcel, question, dry skin on carnivore, any tips? So anybody with dry skin, this is going to help it make it much, much less severe. You got to increase your fat intake, okay? Whether you're eating standard American diet, keto, ketovore, carnivore. If you're not eating a high-fat enough diet, you might have dry skin. If you're not getting enough vitamin A in your diet, you're more likely to have dry skin and dry eyes. If you're not getting enough vitamin E, if you're not getting enough choline, there's several other nutrients that if you're not getting enough of them, you'll have dry skin. Now, there's a normal distribution curve for every human attribute, one of which is dry skin. There are some people over here on this end of that normal distribution curve that are going to have dry skin no matter what you do. Their skin's going to be drier on average. Some people never have problems with this. Some people literally could just eat rocks and they still wouldn't have dry skin. So you may be somebody more prone to it, but you need to increase the amount of vitamin A. I've got a video on this channel about vitamin A rich foods. You need to increase the omega-3 fatty acids. I've got a video about that on this channel. And I also have a special guest star. It's the one and only world famous.
World famous.
World famous.
That's cute.
Nisha Salas Berry.
Look, you can see my grays today, guys. Look at that.
So beautiful. I love your grays.
How long are you doing this for?
I'm gonna do it until I get tired. I've got the live in our private group coming up at 5 p.m. Central.
I don't even know what time
3:49. So yeah, we do extra lives like this all the time inside our private group. So if you'd like access to that, and instead of 2,000 people asking questions, there's only 100 or 200 or 300, become a member of our private community. There's a link down in the show notes. For as little as $5 a month.
You can get all the Dr. Berry that you want.
Yeah. Some days
Okay,
Nisha's
that's
had
exaggerated. Oh, no, you can't.
some days Nisha gets enough of Dr. Berry, and so she doesn't.
I don't pay $5, and it's too much, Dr. Berry.
She
for
pays
me.
way more
That's true.
in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
In other ways.
Yes.
Now Renee says that gout was not as bad as childbirth, and the gout was a bad case. I respect that, Renee, but I have had women tell me that it was as bad as natural child labor. Janur, hey, how much liver is safe to consume per day? Again, if you like liver, let your taste buds be your guide. I agree with my friend Amber O'Hearn on this. If you're eating liver every day and then you're suddenly like, well, I don't want any liver, I think that's your body giving you a signal that you've got everything you need from the liver. You don't have to eat it every day. If you want to eat it every day, I would say eat 4 ounces a day, 3 ounces a day, 2 ounces a day. That's gonna be better than any multivitamin you could buy at any store on planet Earth, as far as vitamins and minerals and other micronutrients. Can you eat too much liver to where it's dangerous? This is virtually unheard of. The taste of liver typically self-limits that. Now, there are many cases of vitamin A toxicity from taking vitamin A supplements. That's absolutely possible. But I've yet found a single reported case study of somebody eating beef liver, sheep's liver, goat liver, goose liver, duck liver that developed a vitamin A toxicity situation. I have yet to see that case report. So I think eating the liver of domesticated animals, don't eat polar bear liver, don't eat pufferfish liver, just domesticated animals, because their livers are apparently very, very safe to consume. So I think if you want to eat 8 ounces of beef liver a day, as long as you listen to your taste buds, I think it's perfectly safe and fine. I don't think you're going to develop any toxicities whatsoever. But if all of a sudden your tongue's like, no, I don't want that, then stop eating it until you want it again. Now, for those of you who don't like liver, or quote unquote, I hate liver, sometimes good medicine tastes bad. Sometimes you have to do a workaround. If you don't want to take a handful of supplements, learning to like at least one type of liver. This can be chicken liver fried in Nisha's carnivore batter that she talks about on her channel. This can be cod liver that comes in tins like sardines. There's any number of ways to eat liver that will give you all the vitamins and minerals. You don't have to just eat raw beef liver. That's not necessary. You also don't have to eat the entire liver. You can eat 2 ounces a day. If you do that, find a liver you like and have on average. You don't have to do it every single day, but have 6 ounces today, none the next, and 2 or 3 ounces the next. But you're gonna build up your levels of all those vitamins and minerals. Susan, so Nisha also makes egg chocolate pudding that's made exclusively of eggs and just a little bit of Lily's very low carb chocolate for flavor. And sometimes Beckett likes that. Sometimes he loves it. Then other times he's like, I don't want that. And so we probably make a batch once a month. And sometimes he'll eat it, sometimes he won't. But it's basically just eggs with a tiny bit of Lily's low carb chocolate in it. And it doesn't taste like eggs at all. Anybody who likes chocolate pudding is going to love this. It tastes like a really expensive chocolate mousse. That's what it tastes like. You got that recipe on your channel?
It's Maria's recipe.
It's Maria Emmerich's recipe, but many other people have adopted it. I don't know if Nisha's done a video about it yet.
I haven't done a video, but it's linked in one of my kids' video.
Oh, I got it. She's got a link to it, but that's Maria Emmerich's recipe originally, and she did a great job on that one. She made it for us when we were in Costa Rica, and it's freaking amazing, and it's 99% eggs. Amy, getting my fasting insulin check tomorrow. How long should I fast? How long should you fast for any lab tests? You should fast for 12 to 18 hours, even if your doctor says you don't have to fast. Especially if you're getting your triglycerides checked or your blood sugar or your insulin checked, you need to fast for 12 to 14 hours. Thank you, Jen. Brittany, recent lab work showed high LDL and HDL of 95. That's great. Triglycerides of 65. That's great. A1C of 5.3. That's great. Fasting insulin of 2.9. That's great. CRP less than 1. That's great. Body fat percentage, 24%. Hyper-responder, but do you find necessary to do more tests, LDL, particle size, or a CAC? Brittany, you didn't tell me your age. If you're under the age of 35, you almost certainly have a CAC score, a coronary artery calcium score of 0. You should, unless you were eating a terrible diet before you started this. But we know that you're metabolically healthy because your HDL, your triglycerides, your A1C, and your fasting insulin, and your CRP are all gorgeous. So in the face of that, I don't give a damn what your LDL cholesterol is. I don't care if it's 150 or 450. It's irrelevant. You're metabolically healthy. Okay. Now, Brittany, female, I'm assuming her body fat percentage is 24%. Now, there are a lot of people out there that would say that's too high, or that sounds like that's too high. I think to be healthy, it needs to be lower than that. No. Female humans, to be their optimal health, need a body fat percentage of somewhere between 15 and 27%. That's the healthy body fat percentage range for female humans. Male humans, 10 to 22%. That's a healthy body fat percentage. The bodybuilders you see on the cover of Muscle and Fitness, or you see on the Instagram accounts that you can see the blood vessels in their belly muscles, that's not healthy. And very often we see that bodybuilders later in life die early, die in their 50s or 60s. And of course, there's probably steroids and other crap involved, but I'm just telling you, the research is clear. And then also knowing what kind of species we are. A body fat percentage of 24% in a female human is perfection. That's perfect. You're going to have just enough fat to have the curves that you want, but not too much. You're going to have just enough fat to be reproductive. You're going to have normal periods. If you want to get pregnant, you'll be able to get pregnant and carry a healthy pregnancy to term and have a beautiful baby. Having that much body fat is healthy. It's good. That's a good thing. Now, if you're wanting to win a bodybuilding competition or a physique competition, you may have to temporarily cut that down to a lower percent in order to win that competition, but that does not make it healthy. Thank you very much, K-Mac. Thank you, Carolyn B. If you have a question, guys, type it in. If you've already typed it, I may have already went by it. Type it in again. Keep it as short and sweet as possible and put the word question in front of it, just like Sue Sally did. Since going Ketovore, I've had an increase in hot flashes. I'm 64. Will this subside? Maybe. Basically, what's happening is it's turned you back hormonally into a younger woman. You probably already went through menopause and the hot flashes were gone. But eating a proper human diet allows you to be as physiologically young as possible. And so that's why your hot flashes have kind of come back. It's basically turned back the clock on your physiological age to the point where you're still in menopause. Now, if this keeps bothering you, see a local healthcare provider who's an expert in bioidentical hormone optimization. They can help you with that. A likeness, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Week 2, I've lost 20 pounds. Please explain why electrolytes. I'm assuming you mean why do you need electrolytes? So we have to have electrolytes in order to function properly. Our ancestors in the past, you know where they got their electrolytes from? From drinking river water, mud puddle water, and also when they killed a big antelope or a big mastodon or a big water buffalo, they couldn't hoist that up on a block and tackle and drain the blood. The meat was full of the blood, and blood is an excellent source of electrolytes. So the water they drank and the blood that was in the meat they ate routinely gave them all the electrolytes they needed. Also, any plants that they gathered were going to be naturally higher in electrolytes as well. There's research in the agricultural research that shows that modern day plants have much lower levels of potassium and magnesium these days as they did even 50 years ago, thanks to Monsanto and Bayer and Archer Daniels Midland and other people who think that our farming needs to be chemical, factory-based farming instead of putting manure on the field and practices we've been using for tens of thousands of years. So that's why. And so currently the food that you eat doesn't have as many electrolytes in it. And I don't encourage you to drink pond water or stream water in it from a wild stream, because our guts are not accustomed to that, and you might wind up with a severe gastroenteritis or colitis from that. And so you have a serving of electrolytes a day, and that's going to give you your potassium, magnesium, and make sure you've got plenty of salt as well. Indigo, thank you very much. Monica, I've been diagnosed with high blood pressure. My doctor has me on 5 milligrams amlodipine, 40 milligrams olmesartan. Both parents had high blood pressure, been keto for 2 years, lost 65 pounds with 20 to go. I'm Ketovore now. What else can I do to get off the meds? So, Monica, if you're happy with your health right now, the 5 milligrams of amlodipine is probably not helping you at all. Obviously, talk to your doctor before making any medical decision changes. The 40 milligrams of olmesartan is probably all you need to keep your blood pressure normal. Make sure you're checking your blood pressure properly. There's many wrong ways to do it and only one right way. And I've got a YouTube video that tells you how to check your blood pressure properly. Many people, thousands, if not millions of people around the world have been falsely diagnosed with high blood pressure or hypertension, and they don't even actually have it. It's because their doctor didn't follow the proper protocol to check a blood pressure, and their blood pressure was falsely high. If you haven't been checking your blood pressure at home, Monica, then you're going to go on Amazon and buy a cuff that checks your blood pressure up here. Make sure the cuff's the right size, and then you're going to follow the steps in my YouTube video about how to check your blood pressure, and start checking your blood pressure at home twice a day when you're calm and relaxed. You may find that your blood pressure is beautiful and you don't even need the olmesartan. Steven, bad constipation and cramps on keto, what can I do? So if you're having true constipation on keto, increasing your fat's going to help, increasing your magnesium is going to help. Drinking more water than your thirst requires is not going to help. That's a very common thing. Healthcare providers will tell you to drink a gallon of water a day, as if your body's so ignorant it'll just dump all that water into your colon. Doesn't work that way. Fat and magnesium, that's what's going to get the bowels moving. If this is not better in a few days, definitely see your doctor. Thank you, Sue Sally. Andy, while I agree with you on not allowing unhealthy stuff with SNAP benefits, other people will want to restrict healthy foods like fatty red meats. Yeah. And so Andy's talking about SNAP. Some of the older folks in the United States call them food stamps. It's basically a monthly benefit that people who have a low enough income, they get this benefit from the federal government. And currently, most of the SNAP benefits, like the biggest portion of those that are spent, goes to soft drinks and fruit juices as a category. That gets more money spent on that than anything else, which literally are disease-causing agents. Now, I personally don't advocate making a law, because I'm pretty libertarian in that respect, because I think you're exactly right, Andy. If we start making laws, then next time the other people are in power, they're going to make a law and they're going to say you can't use your SNAP benefits to buy red meat or bacon or hot dogs or bologna. You're right. And that's why I don't advocate the making of laws. You should never advocate that lightheartedly. You better have thought that out, because governmental creep is a very real thing. Start out with a good idea, make a little law, before you know it, it's turned into a monster. And so I don't advocate that, but I do advocate we need to have a discussion about that and figure out some strategy. What that strategy is, I'm not 100% sure yet. Indigo, any contraindications for carnivore diet for those on thyroid replacement meds or congenital heart issues? No, you absolutely are going to benefit from a carnivore diet. That goes for anybody on the planet Earth who is a human being. I don't care what medication you're on. I don't care what medical condition you have. You're going to benefit from eating a proper human diet, because you are, in fact, a human. Michelle, best friend is considering joining me on Carnivore. She has had a section of colon removed due to colon cancer. Any concerns? Absolutely not. Every bit of the meat that your friend eats is going to be completely digested and absorbed before it ever makes it to the colon. This is something that I try to help My vegan friends understand, they say things like, well, meat just rots in your colon. See, when you say stuff like that, you reveal your ignorance of human physiology. That's not how it works. A long time ago, a guy got part of his stomach blown out by a cannonball, and it didn't heal properly. And the doctor was able to he could see into the man's stomach. And so he would tie a piece of meat to a little string, and the guy would swallow it. And he would pull it back up, or he would just look in the little stomach hole, and meat is completely digested before it ever makes it through the second part of the small intestine. Meat never makes it to the large intestine. The only way it's possible is if you're taking a huge dose of a proton pump inhibitor, blocking all your stomach acid with a medication like Prilosec, Protonix, Nexium. Those things, if you take enough of those, they'll block your stomach acid enough that meat can make it through. We also know from people who've had a colostomy, where they have a bag and they defecate into the bag, they never find meat in the bag, ever. But they do find lots of partially digested fibrous vegetables. And so if anything rots in your colon, it's fibrous vegetables. Yeah, your friend will do just fine on carnivore. Will flourish, in fact. Moon, mostly eat butter, steak. Ketones are at 3.0. Now 0.2 to 0.6, going in and out of ketosis. Lost 5 pounds, then gained it back, doing the same thing. Too much fat or too much protein. Also getting stomach pain and nausea. Probably neither too much fat nor too much protein. As you become fat adapted or keto adapted, you're not going to have ketones in the 3 level. And if you're eating carnivore, there's no use wasting your money on ketone strips. You're going to be in ketosis, some degree, some level of ketosis the vast majority of the time. You don't have to keep wasting money on that. Okay. Now, as far as the stomach pain and nausea, that could be completely unrelated to your diet. Could be related. And so keep an eye on it and maybe switch up your carnivore. Try some carnivore foods that you haven't eaten lately. See if that helps. If not, then definitely see your doctor about that. Matthew, advanced CAD, keto carnivore for 12 months, down 80 pounds. A1C is now 5.6, which is normal. And that's down from 10, which is terrible. Huzzah, Matthew, huzzah. Problem is I can't afford medical advice from a natural heart doctor, i.e. Wolfson, Ovadia, cardiologist just wants to increase meds. I can't afford advice. So here's my question, Matthew. Do with this what you will. You've lost 80 pounds and you've completely eradicated your type 2 diabetes. What makes you think you need medical advice from a high-priced cardiologist? The things that you're doing are improving your heart health. They are improving the health of your coronary arteries. Losing 80 pounds, that's not just an isolated incident. That has ripples and repercussions over your entire body. Moving your A1C from 10 down to 5.6, that improves the health of every organ in your body, including your heart. Okay? If you keep eating a keto carnivore, you can go see the cheapest doctor in town. Okay? Because you're not going to need much advice from them. Sylvie, does the carnivore diet provide enough boron to preserve bone health? Is taking a supplement a good idea? So there is actually boron in the daily mineral drops. And that's because many of the soils that our food comes from, many of the soils that cattle graze on are depleted in boron or iodine or some other mineral. And so we came up with this formulation which contains iodine and boron and many other minerals because of that. Now, I hope that eventually there are enough regenerative ranchers and farmers around that we regenerate the soil. And it's got all these minerals, and then nobody will need to buy daily minerals. But until then, if you want to check it out, there's a link in the show notes. But so it depends on the carnivore diet. If you're eating some amount of seafood in your carnivore diet, you're probably getting enough boron. If you're eating only animals that graze on the interior of large continents that are not near the ocean, you may not be getting enough boron. And sometimes there will be rock outcroppings that are rich in boron, which then the rain leaches out and it gets in the soil. The only way to know is to have a boron level checked. And sometimes even that is unreliable because we store most of the boron in our body, in our bones. And so the only way to know is to do a bone biopsy, which hurts like a mofo, and you don't want to do that. No doctor's going to do that for a boron level. So what I recommend is, out of an abundance of caution, take a supplement that contains boron and iodine and other minerals, just in case you're not getting enough. If you wind up getting a little too much, guess what? Your body's not an idiot. Your body you'll just urinate out the excess. You're not going to build up a toxicity. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So if say 20% of your carnivore is seafood, you probably don't need to supplement boron. But if you're saying, no, I only eat, beef and lamb, and they're grazed in Minnesota or Iowa or Missouri, you might need to consider something with boron in it. Good question. Diana, I'm pre-diabetic currently, not for long. What do you recommend? I need to lose 15 to 20 pounds. Any recommendations? Yeah, Diana, you immediately need to adopt a ketogenic diet that contains less than 20 total grams of carbohydrates a day. Total grams, not net grams. And you need to eat that diet repeatedly. And within 3 to 9 months, you'll have a normal A1C. You will have reversed your prediabetes. And you'll have also lost at least 10 to 15 of that 15 to 20 pounds. If you want to do it quicker and you don't mind eating lots of meat, then either Ketovore or Carnivore. Now, I've got videos on this channel about all 3 different ways of eating: keto, Ketovore, and Carnivore. You pick. If you need lots of vegetables in your life, then pick keto. If you just like every now and then I want to have a little veg, but I don't really care, Ketovore. If you say I could give a damn less if I ever see another vegetable, much less eat one, then Carnivore is the way for you. Any of those 3 diets are going to reverse your prediabetes completely. You'll have a normal A1C, and you're going to lose the vast majority of that 20 pounds. And then I want you to share your story, Diana, because a lot of people do not believe that you can reverse prediabetes. Look at Wayne. Carnivore since February. So that's 5 months. Wayne's been a carnivore, and he's lost 94 pounds. And he's off all his meds. Wayne is not an anomaly. Okay. He is an anecdote, but he's not an anomaly. The problem with people who say, well, Wayne's just one person, that doesn't prove anything. Well, Wayne's not alone. There are literally millions of people who have had the same results with a ketogenic diet. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands who've had the same result with a Ketovore diet, and hundreds of thousands of people who've had the same result with a carnivore diet. That's a lot of anecdotes. At what point do we have to say, I guess 1 million anecdotes, I guess that's data. I guess we should start counting that. Silver Slipper. Question, should I eat low-carb bread? No. There is no such thing as keto-friendly bread. Okay, if you buy it in a supermarket, a grocery store, supermercado, no, they're all bullshit. Okay, they use tricks to get the carb count down, and they'll count net carbs, not total carbs. And if you read the ingredients, you'll quickly know that they're not keto friendly. There's no such thing. Okay, now if you say, look, Dr. Berry, I'm going to eat bread, I don't give a damn what you say. I'm either going to eat bunny bread, the cheap white bread, or I'm going to eat low-carb bread. Which one should I eat? If you phrase the question like that, then yes, you should probably eat the low-carb bread. But I'm telling all you guys, keto is very popular right now. Carnivore is becoming very popular right now. If you see something in the grocery store that says keto on it, it most assuredly is not keto. Real keto foods come from the meat section, the egg section, the dairy section, and the vegetable section of the store. They do not come in packages. They do not come in plastic bags or cardboard boxes or cans. Keto is real food, one ingredient food. So you get to decide now, Silver Slipper, are you going to eat bread regardless, or do you want to do what's best for your body? It's your choice. Nana, Hey, Dr. Berry, is it all right to be on carnivore if you have gastroparesis and no gallbladder? Absolutely, Nana Pam, 100%. Gastroparesis is caused by predominantly having prediabetes or type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes that's uncontrolled. That's what causes the vast majority of cases of gastroparesis. Eating a carnivore diet is going to reverse the prediabetes or reverse the type 2 diabetes completely. And if you're a type 1 diabetic and you go carnivore, you're going to be able to have a normal A1C, 5.6 or lower. And then the nerves in your stomach can actually repair and regrow, but it's slow. It takes a while. We've had many people who were type 2 diabetics with severe gastroparesis, so severe they had to puree their food. After a few months on carnivore and they had to puree their meat to start with, they can now eat solid food. Their gastroparesis has gotten so much better. The symptoms are so much better that they can now just eat regular food like a regular person again. Having no gallbladder is irrelevant. Your bile ducts are going to take on a storage capacity. They're going to mimic the gallbladder. After a few months of eating keto or carnivore, you'll do just fine. Absolutely, Nana Pam, do it to it. Homer says, I'm another keto preaching family doctor just down the road in McMinnville, Tennessee. Hey, hello, neighbor. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for the comment, and thanks for teaching your patients about a proper human diet. The Homer is the reason. I don't know Homer's story. We haven't met yet, but I would suspect that initially Homer in his practice was not aware of a proper human diet or the power of diet. He probably had a patient or two who came in and said, you know, I'm eating keto and I've reversed my type 2 diabetes, or I'm eating carnivore and my Crohn's disease is completely in remission. And the first patient that said that, he was like, that's weird. But then the second, the fifth, the 10th, the 20th, and then Homer Googled it and he started reading and he's like, hello and behold, there's lots of research about eating a very low carb diet. I think I'm going to try it myself. This is the typical story of most doctors who are now aware of the power of a proper human diet. They try it for themselves, their health improves, and then they're like, I'm going to start recommending this to my patients with the worst type 2 diabetes and the worst severe obesity. I'm going to start recommending it to them. It works for them. And then doctors like me and Homer and many others, thousands of others at this point, start recommending it to all our patients. And that's why I encourage all you guys, don't be shy around your doctor. I want you to tell your doctor that you're eating keto. I want you to tell your doctor you're eating Ketovore. I absolutely want you to tell your doctor you're eating carnivore diet. And then I want them to watch your progression, watch your healing, watch your numbers get better, watch your waistline get better, because that will actually help to teach your doctor that a proper human diet is the most important intervention any doctor can do in their patient's life. More important than any pill at the pharmacy. So for the rest of my career, the rest of Homer's career, and the rest of your doctor's career, once you've educated them, they're going to affect the lives of thousands of patients. You can help teach your doctor. Please don't be shy. Don't mislead your doctor about your diet. Be upfront, unless you're just non-confrontational, then in which case I understand. Christina, been doing keto for 3 weeks, recently dealing with cotton, dry mouth. Am I deficient in something? Any recommendations? So anytime you have dry mouth like that, take a sip of water. Make sure you're drinking enough water. If you're thirsty, drink water. That's how you know when to drink water. Make sure you're getting enough fat in your diet. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin A and vitamin E in your diet. I've got YouTube videos to tell you how to get all those, more of all those in your diet. There are a few autoimmune conditions that can cause dry mouth. There are many medications that you might be taking that are known to cause dry mouth. So if you're taking any medication, Christina, talk to your doctor or look at the package insert and see if dry mouth is listed. If so, have a conversation with your doctor. If you fear you have an autoimmune condition, have your doctor check you out for that. Thank you, Phyllis. Benton, wait to transition off Ozempic to do carnivore. You can start carnivore while you're still taking Ozempic. If you're currently on Ozempic or Wegovy or any of the others, you can start keto, Ketovore, carnivore right now. and then slowly wean down and stop the Ozempic or the Wegovy, because Ozempic and Wegovy basically mimic the benefits of a keto or a carnivore diet. You can get all the benefits without any of the side effects just by eating keto, ketovore, carnivore. But there's no contraindication of mixing the two. Storm Crow, carnivore 2 months. Carnivore 2 makes months. Down, so I guess carnivore for 2 months, down 40 pounds. Huzzah. Morning sugars have been between 75 and 95 all along. Past week, I'm hitting 100 to 105. No diet changes. Any thoughts? So this is why I recommend getting your hemoglobin A1C checked every 3 months and your fasting insulin checked every 3 months, because there are 100 things that could cause your blood sugar to be running 100 versus 75. You may have a slight viral infection. You may have a slight fungal infection. You may have a slight bacterial infection. You may have got a little sunburn. You may have a rash. You may have gotten bitten by a bug. You may be under stress at work, stress at home, stress in general. Any number of things can make this blood sugar change. That's why you check the A1C and fasting insulin every 3 months. Betty, doctor, any recommendations for MS, also a diabetic? Yeah, so thousands of people have given us feedback and said, I have MS, and back when I was eating the standard American diet, even with the prescriptions, I was having severe MS flares and steady progression, getting worse and worse. Now that I'm eating a proper human diet, in many cases, they're off the medicines. They have not had any flare-ups. Their progression has stopped. This is not a guarantee. I'm just telling you what thousands of people have told us. And also, you're going to reverse, if you're type 2 diabetic, Betty, you'll reverse that within 3 to 9 months of keto, starting your real whole food, one ingredient, ketogenic diet, ketovore diet, or carnivore diet. You'll reverse your diabetes. Tilt. Would like to give my children keto chow minerals. 2-year-old is 27 pounds. 10-year-old is 70 pounds. Recommended dose, please. So your 2-year-old would get 1/10 the dose of 1/10 of a full dose, up to let's start at the 10th, and then when they get up to about 35 pounds, they can do a quarter dose. The 10-year-old needs half a daily dose. Yep, absolutely. Make sure those babies are getting their minerals. Guess what? Every human, whether they're a baby, a toddler, an adolescent, they all need minerals in order for their brain to develop and function properly. Thank you, Floyd. Elijah, will Biktarvy for HIV stall my weight loss? I'm 5'4", 140 pounds, and want to get down 5 pounds. Maybe a little, but not enough to really matter. If you're eating strict keto or ketovore or carnivore, you're going to move towards your ideal body weight. Elijah. All right, guys. I've got just a few more minutes here. Shabo, son, 17. Calpro is 670, diagnosed with Crohn's. Doctor pushing biologics. I keep pushing back. He weighs 145 to 150 pounds, 6'1". I can't get him to eat more. He does not like eggs. But how long before we see results? So I think you meant, I'm hoping that your son is now eating a strict carnivore diet. If so, within weeks to just a few months, you should notice that the Crohn symptoms are drastically better. And he should start to gain weight in the form of healthy bone and healthy muscle and healthy lean body mass. He will also put on a little fat, but it'll be a healthy amount of fat. Okay, and he doesn't have to eat eggs. See if you can get him to eat the egg yolks. Just leave out the whites. He might be able to tolerate the yolks. You can put them in lots of different recipes and lots of different things. You can make him a béarnaise sauce that's just pure egg yolks and see if that helps. Now, if he's on a lion diet, then obviously you need to leave out all of the spices. I can't really tell which diet he's on here, but either carnivore or lion diet is the way he needs to go to put his Crohn's as close to being in remission as possible. Elijah, can vaping stall my weight loss? Especially if you're vaping the sweet tasting vapes, the blueberry, mango, strawberry, kiwi, absolutely that can initiate an insulin response and slow down your weight loss. Now, also, vapes have nicotine, which is known to speed up the metabolism and cause weight loss. So you're kind of canceling yourself out there. But vaping is not good for you. I think it's less bad than smoking cigarettes, but that doesn't make it good. So keep weaning down the vape until you've quit that completely. And maybe switch to an unflavored vape. And what that's going to do is two things. First of all, it's going to make it much less enjoyable to vape. So then you're just feeding the nicotine addiction. You're not also getting the pleasurable flavor. That'll make it easier to quit. But also it'll stop raising your insulin while you're still weaning down the vaping. Now, let me repeat what I just said so nobody misquotes me. Vaping is bad for you. Okay? Vaping is probably less bad than smoking tobacco. That does not make it good. I would rather, if you were my patient, I would rather you be vaping than smoking tobacco. I think it's less bad. But I ultimately would like you to quit either one because they're both bad. They're both dumb. They're both a waste of money. Spend your money on meat, not vapes. K-Mac, question Dr. Ken, any idea why I sometimes have very bad bouts with lower intestinal pain and diarrhea after eating lots of steak, burgers, sausages? This is very uncommon on a carnivore diet. Maybe if you're gorging, if you're eating past your satiety. So I want you to eat until you're comfortably stuffed. But if you're with friends and maybe you're having a drink and you get carried away and you overeat past your point of being comfortably full, that could cause this. That may be what you're doing. Could be alcohol, could be a sweetener that you're using, could be any number of things. But it's not just because you're eating steak and burgers and sausage. There's something else going on. John says, can you donate blood if you're eating a proper human diet? Absolutely. And your blood's going to be the best blood in the blood bank because your blood's going to be built of actual proper human food. That's what blood's built of, is the food you eat. Question, is it safe to do a 72-hour fast every week? I do alternate day eating. After 48 hours, I eat, but I am not hungry. So it depends, Stephen. If you still have lots of stored body fat, it's absolutely safe for you to do a 72-hour fast once a week. And then as you get closer to your ideal body weight range, you can start just doing a 48-hour fast once a week. Okay. And then at some point, you can just do intermittent daily fasting. Here's a great question. Everybody listen up to this. This is very important. Peculiar Black Girl says, I am 51 years of age, 5'5" and 127 pounds. I don't want to lose weight. Will doing carnivore cause me to lose weight? The answer is, if you don't need to lose weight, then it will not make you lose weight. The keto diet, the Ketovore diet, and the carnivore diet are weight optimization diets. They tend to move you towards your ideal body weight range. Okay. Now, if you're overweight, they're going to make you lose weight. But we've seen in hundreds of people, if you're underweight, you'll actually gain weight on keto, Ketovore, or carnivore. And so somebody like Peculiar Black Girl, she's 5'5" and 127 pounds. That's fine. She doesn't need to lose or gain. If she eats and lets her hunger tell her when to eat and lets her satiety tell her when to stop eating, she won't gain or lose on carnivore. Now, she might lose some fat and gain some muscle, but the scale's barely going to move. Yeah. So again, let me say, keto and carnivore are not weight loss diets. They are weight optimization diets. They move you in the direction that you need to go. That's very hard. Most people, when you say the word diet, that can only mean weight loss. That is not how a proper human diet works. Carnivore werewolf. I started eating pumpkin seeds to stop my tinnitus. After a week, it has worked. Any medical reason? So pepitos, pumpkin seeds, actually they're very high in a few vitamins and minerals. This might be the reason that your tinnitus is better. It also might be coincidence. To know for sure, carnivore werewolf, what you need to do is stop the pepitos for a month. Does the tinnitus come back? Then start the pepitos back, and does it go away again? You want to repeat that 2 or 3 times so that you know this is not coincidental. there's a pattern. Every time I eat the pumpkin seeds, tinnitus gets better. Every time I stop them, tinnitus gets worse. I think what you're going to find is it was coincidental. The pumpkin seeds probably played no role whatsoever. And this is coming from a guy. I love pepitos. I love them, but they're too high in carbs for me. If I ate as many pepitos as I wanted on a daily basis, I would gain 5 pounds. I love them. Hey, there's M. Willie from Berlin. I need to go to Germany as well. Please have a proper human diet get together in Germany. I'd love to come. That'd be awesome. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, guys, no more super chats. If you're about to put one in, don't do it. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Shaquip Keen, because I'm about to sign off, and I'm going to be going live at 5 p.m. Central in our private group doing the same exact thing, but instead of 2,400 people asking questions, there will just be 150. So I can answer everybody's question in much more detail. So there's a link in the show notes if you want to become part of our private group. Let me see if I've got it. Yeah, right here. It's drberry.com/community. And for as little as $5 a month, you can be a member of our tribe. There are thousands of people in there who are just trying to improve their health by eating a proper human diet. We hold each other's hands. We pick each other up when we fall down. Somebody in the group is going to have your back. Very often people say, hey, I'm from St. Louis or I'm from New York, and they find 20 other people. Well, they thought they were the lone wolf in the wilderness eating carnivore or ketovore in their area. Turns out there's 20 other people, and they get to now meet them for coffee or meet them to eat some meat for lunch. So consider becoming part of our community. I think you'll be very glad that you did. All right, let me get a few more questions here. Thank you, Ashley. Good to see you. I hope you're doing very well. Alexiv, what electrolytes are recommended for the carnivore diet? I just started the carnivore diet 4 days ago. I feel like my heart beats faster at times, which may or may not be related to your electrolytes at all. I'm not eating any carbs at all. And so first thing you need to know, Alexiv, is that your heart doesn't need any carbohydrates to go in your mouth at all for optimal cardiac function and output. Okay. So rest assured you're eating a diet that's very heart healthy. Secondly, what I advise most people to do is to take a serving of the daily minerals out of an abundance of caution, just in case the grass that grew in the dirt that your cow ate or your sheep ate or your chicken ate is deficient in boron or molybdenum or iodine or some of the other minerals. You're getting it. Okay. And then you can be encouraging all your local ranchers and local farmers to practice regenerative farming and ranching so we can unlock the minerals in the soil or put the minerals back in the soil. Okay. And then also to use one serving of LMNT electrolytes or Redmond's Relight or something like that a day. That way, you know, you're getting plenty of electrolytes and minerals until we have healed the soil that basically the big factory farm people have mucked up. They've mucked up our soil. And it's sad. It's a tragedy. It's a travesty. People should go to prison for destroying our soil, but they probably won't. But what you can do for you and your family is make sure you're getting enough minerals and electrolytes and encouraging local regenerative farmers and ranchers. All right. Floyd, a right side thyroid removed, then left side. Is it normal for BP to go up when TSH hormone has not leveled yet? Will BP go back to normal? Yes and yes. Most likely. Now, keep a close eye on your blood pressure at home. Check it twice a day when you're calm and relaxed. But more than likely, when they get your thyroid replacement hormone regulated properly, your blood pressure will be fine. All right, guys, we got time for one more. A likeness. Thanks for the electrolyte explanation. LOL at pond water. Right. Don't drink pond water. It's rich in electrolytes, but also giardia and other things. Ordered your electrolytes, joining your group. Welcome, A likeness. So glad to have you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep. Now, Teresa O is one of our mentors. She's very active in the group, and she also put up the address. Roxana is a member of our group. We love Roxana. She helps so many people in the group. Newcomers, when you first come in, I want you to announce in the main community chat, hey, I'm brand new. I have the following conditions. Have any of you guys experienced similar? I promise you 20 people will reach out and say, hey, my friend, welcome. Let me take you by the hand. Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you how I did it. Jen, week into low carb, and I've started to feel soreness on joints and heels, especially after getting up from lying down. Could I be deficient in something? Yeah, especially sore heels, sore feet, cold feet. It's very often an iodine deficiency. Sometimes when you adopt a low carb diet, you can have some degree of oxalate dumping, which can cause temporary joint pain. So don't worry too much about that. Just know that you're eating a proper human diet and keep slowly lowering your carbohydrate intake daily. And before long, you'll start to feel all the benefits, I promise. Last one, SLPC. After 1 month carnivore, my cholesterol total is 6.44, total HDL ratio 4.47, LDL 4.3, HDL 1.4, triglycerides 1.4. Am I good? The units in UK, right? So I don't have the UK units memorized, SLPC. I'm very sorry about that. I used to have a little cheat sheet, but I think my 3-year-old Beckett Berry has grabbed my cheat sheet for the conversion and ran off with it. So I cannot answer your question today. I am very sorry. Okay, Paul, last one. New labs down to 210 pounds, A1C 5.5, triglycerides 51, HDL 44. It's going to move higher, don't worry. AST, I think you meant 20, ALT 21, all have improved. Huzzah, Paul Wagner. Eating a proper human diet makes so many things better. Physiologically, mentally, physically, muscularly, bone-wise, all the ways. Everything gets better when you stop poisoning your body with a high carbohydrate, highly inflammatory, standard American crap diets. And you start to eat the real whole one ingredient foods that our ancestors have eaten for the last 3.5 million years. Doesn't that just make good common sense? If you haven't started, please start today. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time, or I'll see you over in the private group. You can sign up right now and be part of the next live. I'm going live at 5 p.m. Central. Thanks, guys. See you later.